I'm Karen.
And I'm Mae.
And we are from
Boomers
to
to
Gen
Gen
Z. So we want to talk about what you guys feel, or how do you react when you see an older woman with dating with a younger man, or vice versa. What is your personal view? How you feel? How you would react? So don't go away.
So, you answer first, Karen.
Okay.
What do you think? Would you date a man who is younger than you? And if so, what is the maximum year gap that you could tolerate?
Oh,
And why?
okay. So yes, I think I would date a guy who's younger. Um, because I'm very pragmatic. I figure that as I get older, he might be able to take care of me.
Okay.
And there's so many examples of that, right? Like Joan Collins and her husband. I think they're like 20 over years age gap, and she still looks amazing. So there must be something about her. I think she's in her 80s with a husband who's in only early 60s.
Oh, wow.
Wow, yeah, and she looks amazing, and she's still very coherent. Either the sex is really good, or he's really taking good care of her. Sorry, and yeah, I think I can't say what is the age gap that is appropriate, but I guess I don't quite agree if the the other person is below 21.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Just
feel
because they're
like
not fully developed.
yeah, it's like almost like
Cradle snatcher.
it's not just cradle. I think that's kind of, in my view, a little bit morally wrong.
Mm.
I don't know if you remember, there was this case where in America, where this teacher of 36 had intercourse with a boy as young as 13, and she got pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
Mm. I think that is,
Oh, I think I saw this.
yeah,
Like she got pregnant.
she got pregnant, and I believe the last I kind of remember hearing is that now that he's a grown up, they are married, but it's the weirdest thing.
It's like you're almost like conditioning or training the younger one, to sort of like
Yeah,
be so infatuated by you because they're so young that they probably don't have like their own opinions yet.
exactly. I feel like if you're a 13-year-old boy, I mean, that's very controversial, don't you agree?
Yeah.
And 13 is so impressionable, and
Yeah.
you are 36, so you should be of supposedly of better um, mature mind, that you can say, okay, maybe this is not the right thing to do. Actually, the other famous one, you know who? Emmanuel Macron.
I don't know this person.
He's the president of France right now.
Okay. Okay.
And his wife is 20 years senior.
Oh.
She was a teacher for him at college.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like I think she was a teacher for, I think it was high school or something like that.
She must be a very good teacher if he's not.
I know. And when he was of age, um, she divorced the husband, and since then they've been together.
So, like, the fact that these relationships last long makes you wonder, right? Like, is there really something there then?
Yeah,
Is there-
I mean, if you look at it, right, we society assumes the man will go with a younger woman,
Mm.
right? So there is that disconnect in our head space, like, oh, why, how come? And I think it's because it definitely points to the fact that it's not just about sex
Yeah.
or the physical. I mean, of course, there must be physical attraction, but I think it's about
So many
the
bad jokes to make in my mind.
really. Tell us what. Tell us what.
No,
Share with
it's
us.
just like, oh, it must be the physical attack. To each their own, right? Maybe that's the taste, you know. Like if you think about like adult movie categories, they have mature. They have...
True.
So there must be some
There must be
attraction.
some attraction, but I think it points to the fact that I believe it's the fact that the guy feels valued and heard, and there's some interaction. I think that points to the fact that yeah, looks can fade, but what you have in your head and what you give out to the guy or to your partner obviously stays much longer, right?
Yeah.
And I of late I think this year there's so many movies about older woman with a younger guy, and what is considered appropriate and what society actually can be very mean, because why is it that an older man can be with a younger woman and way younger, right? Like I just saw in a weird article that this football manager who's 74 and going to marry a girl who's just 24.
And like Brad Pitt apparently has a taste as well. Like not Brad, was it Brad Pitt or no, Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah.
He prefers younger women too. Like as he gets older, he has a pattern of breaking up with a woman after they turn like 24 or
Oh my
21.
god.
And then he finds it, then he fishes again.
So why is it that society accepts that, right? And yet when our older woman is with a younger man, we all go, and we assume that there's no love or there's
She must be
no
desperate or like, all
yeah,
these things.
exactly. I think we
There
are
must be
quite
something wrong
mean.
with her.
And don't you think we are quite mean in that
Yeah.
sense, yeah, right? And so uh, I I admit there are times where those thoughts actually come to me too, and then I realize it's not fair because maybe there is true love. If you put age aside, maybe there is that commonality. They enjoy each other in terms of maybe they have something in common that they like, or that they feel a certain connection, and it's not about physical, nor is it about the age shouldn't matter.
Mm.
And I think there is that thought that I rather have real happiness for a few years than to never have experienced it at all.
Yeah. I see that, and I like just thinking about it now, right? Like I okay, like this is kind of a touchy subject, but you know how like being gay and LGBTQ and everything, like that is very new. It's a very new thing, right? Like, but if I think about like my son, when I talk to him about like, okay, like one of my best friends is gay and he knows it, like Zach knows. Zach doesn't have like a reaction to it, right? He's very like, oh, okay. Like, oh, normal, it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Even when we were back in the UK, he had a friend who had two moms, like they were married lesbians. So then now I'm thinking, right, like is it then that if my son were to be gay, if then an older man who is gay would prefer to date my son, even though my son is like much younger, maybe because he's indirectly tapping into that mentality. So it could be that people date at different ages because they actually want to tap into the mentality of that generation that has not been like influenced so much by the norms of the older people. Like, you
Oh,
get what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah, okay. So you're saying, okay, maybe like if it's let's say a 60-year-old man who in those days when he grew up, accepting the gay community is very difficult for him.
Yeah.
So he feels more comfortable dating someone who's younger
Younger.
because
They're
they are
more
open to it. Okay, okay.
So
Yeah.
even with like girls and guys, so like maybe a woman, she wants to date a younger man because maybe like growing up, she's always kind of gone against the norms of her generation.
Yeah.
And then she feels like all of the men from that generation just don't relate to her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she rather date someone younger. It could really be
It could be that. It certainly could be that because, like, there's this funny comedy called Grace and Frankie.
I know
and
Grace
that's-
and Frankie.
Yeah, and then that's where the two couples, the husbands fell in love and they divorced their wives of 30, 40 years. And it's true. I mean, that acceptance was not apparent until recently,
Mm.
which means the guy suddenly say, well, I need to be true to myself and find the love of my life, and it could doesn't mean to be a form of a woman or the opposite sex in this matter. So yeah, it's I think it is hard to accept in a way, because we are so conditioned. We are
Yeah.
so conditioned in our brain because society dictates so much. But I do draw a line in borderline child abuse.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
that partner is like way too young, I think there should be some form of maturity, which I hope that the older partner could hold back and just say, okay, we need to. Don't you
Yeah,
agree?
I do agree. I
Yeah.
actually really do agree. And like it's funny because I was just talking to my mom about this, and like my mom's single. Anybody out there single? She's been single for a while, and I keep telling her like, go and find someone. Like you're so far away.
Mm.
And she's like, oh, hey, everyone I meet and everyone I find cute is like so much younger. And I
Right.
did ask her, I was like, what's your limit? And she was like, okay, well, whoever, if I were to date someone younger, they have to be at least 10 years older than my child. And I was like, okay, fair.
I think that's a fair.
Because
Yeah.
if like there was someone who was like your age, that would be very
It's very
strange.
weird, right? But also, is there really, if that's like that huge generation gap, what do you talk about? I mean, you are in your 20s, I'm in my 50s, and sometimes I also notice just between us, there are certain things that like I go, huh? And then you go, what? So there will be some of that, isn't it? And I think I am all for finding the love that one, because we all deserve love. We all deserve, and it can be of any sex. It really doesn't matter. But I think again, I just reiterate is the older partner should should allow the younger partner that space, um, or not should allow, but it's kind of like be the wiser one and say, let's us both take some time and really decide, because yeah, definitely below 21, I can't.
No.
I think that's that's kind of weird.
Yeah, like I did date boys below 21, but I was also below 21 at the time.
Oh no, if you're doing that, yeah.
I am dating someone younger though.
Yeah, little cougar.
But yeah, no, it's just like 8 months. It's not exciting.
So yeah, I think I would. And most importantly, I believe that if we come to that age where we are very comfortable with ourselves, and we are um, that's per se, you must be in a good space, because I think most importantly is that the society will judge the couple, and that couple have to be very strong, because
Yeah.
I can just imagine if like a 60-year-old walking in with a 25 or even 30 years old, and then people just gonna go, oh, is that your mom?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then, or comments about all sorts of things, is we are so mean. We are so mean to people who are trying to find love, and you don't know the circumstances, right?
That's true.
Yeah, sometimes it could be, it's just that they find connection through grief. They find connection because they experience similar things. There must be something.
There is actually just so much judgment. Like another story, it's like I know this person. He was a principal in a small town.
Mm,
His wife passed away, and he fell in love with his maid, and then he married his maid.
right.
And in that moment, like the whole like town like really judged him. But then like at that time, I was just talking to my friends, and we decided that like it makes sense, right? Like she was caring for the sick wife, and then she passed away. And he really did love his wife. I did meet him with his wife.
Right.
So in that moment of just grief, I guess they found like a connection to hold on
Yeah.
to, because even the maid was very close to the wife. And,
Right.
I don't know how I'd feel about that. I feel like I'd wake up from my deathbed. Like, kill
I
her.
think, you see, this is again societal's judgment,
Yeah.
right? Okay, she's a maid, but she's a human being first of all, and it's
Yeah.
an honorable job. Who's going to do the job, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like uh, just because there's that difference in status, and that's what people make judgment. And I think that's me. That is
Yeah.
me, because why not? Maybe the maid, I mean, could not be a better person because she knew the wife, cared for the wife, and then know how the husband is, and understand, and able to heal together in a different way, and as a companion.
And they're very happy together, I must say.
Yeah.
When I see their pictures.
So yeah, sometimes it's yeah, I think we got to stop this, and even something so small, may I get these comments on occasion when I go crazy, and people goes, oh, at your age, um,
What does that mean?
yeah, and I'm thinking, just because I'm 55, I can't be silly sometimes.
Follow us on Instagram, you'll see how silly she can get.
Yes. Follow my Instagram. The handle is Women in Midlife. Yeah.
But
And I come to a point where, yeah, I want to be silly. I want to dance if I feel like it.
Mm.
I want to have fun. And so I'm not going to care too much about what people say and say, oh, you have to, oh, please at your age, or why?
Yeah.
Why?
And what does that mean? Like, how does that age act?
Exactly.
Who set the
Who
rules?
set the rules? Exactly. Why can't we be a little silly, and have some fun and laugh, because life is only that many years that we have. Why can't we just enjoy it? Do people tell you to at your age?
No, but I get the whole like, oh, you're a mom now, act like a mom. Like behave, like
Right.
like in a sense that like when we go out, like whenever I eat, like I do this little dance, and like my aunties have said it to me, like, man, you cannot behave like that in public. Like Zaki's here, so like
Right.
and it's like, okay, like how are moms supposed to act? Like I take care of them, that's enough, right? I can't dance, the food's good. So I'll do like my little
The
jiggy.
chicken. Yeah, I think that is a good point, because it's true. When I was younger and I was a mom, I mean, I'm still a mom, like I was mothering my children, and and society's expectation is I have to be know it all, I have to be so serious, I have to do, and I realized my children didn't realize I have actually a wicked sense of humor, or they think that I'm very strict, and I regret that now, because it's like, it's like I think now they see me in a more relaxed and like a funny person compared to couple years back. And it is transition on my side, because they never saw the funny mommy side. They always thought of me as like strict Asian mom, which I don't want, because I want them to see that I can be silly and I do make mistakes, and I'm human, and I never been a mom, so it's never like I knew how to be a mom before, right? And that you make all those mistakes, right? But I guess being a mom, there is that balance, because you want to have some form of authority, so that your children can respect you, and at the same time understand that, hey, there's boundaries, but at the same time you can be silly, and they know they can be silly with you. Yeah.
We need to write a handbook. Somebody needs to teach us how to do this.
I don't think anyone knows. But in saying that, we are just having fun with this conversation. And don't forget to subscribe and like and follow us, because we are trying so hard to give you fun topics, and just having fun with us and listening to us for a couple of minutes. So don't forget, and tune in next week.
See you.